I remember coming to you and saying, look, you came from a failed marriage. I came from a failed marriage. You grew up in a broken home. I grew up in a broken home. You had a lot of trauma as a kid. I had a lot of trauma as a kid. We don't really know how to do this right. We don't know what we don't know. Let's figure out how to communicate properly. Let's learn the tools and techniques that neither of us were taught it. Not to mention we weren't taught it, but we didn't have role models.
Yeah.
To role model that type of behavior. Welcome to the Erase Show. This is going to be a very special episode because we have no guests. We are the guests.
We have no format. We have no guests. We have no agenda, itinerary.
No.
Just to get to know us, right?
Just to get to know us. We want you to know the David and Leila Centner before they try to erase and cancel us.
Who are these people?
Yes.
Who are they?
And you might see a little quirky, silly, because that's who we are by nature, but you might also be inspired a little bit about our journey. I think our journey...
I would be inspired by us.
I'm inspired by you.
I'm inspired by you.
That's because I love you. So we often get asked a lot of questions, and I thought maybe we can use this as an opportunity to go over some of those common questions that are asked. You know, we've been together for 14 years. It's been a beautiful journey. We've had our ups and downs.
Crazy journey. Yep.
And, really, when people see us now, we've been together for 14 years, they go wow, you guys are always hugging on each other, kissing each other, loving on each other. Has it always been like that? You know, do you have moments where you want to strangle each other? How did you get your relationship to where it is today? And I often tell people it hasn't always been this amazing. You know, you grew up with in a household that was untraditional and had a lot of trauma and drama. I grew up in a household that had a lot of drama. And we didn't have so much of a functional, peaceful household. And so I think one of the things that makes us work so hard at having a peaceful, loving relationship with one another first and foremost, but also in our home, is the fact that we didn't have it.
Well,
right?
So important to us. I mean, it's super important that we peace is very important individually within ourselves first and foremost, and then with each other, and then with within our household, and then with the kids, and then and all of humanity. I sort of see it like that. And I disagree with you a little bit. We were always super affectionate with each other from the beginning.
Yeah, 100%. I'm not disagreeing about that, but I'm saying we had some major bumps in the road just because of what we were dealing with in our personal lives. Yeah. So what I'm saying is for example, the first 6 months when we were in a massive honeymoon phase, constantly kissing, hugging, loving, not one argument, not one fight. Well, except for the time that you dumped me for 40 days, but we won't talk about that today. That'll be another episode about that. We would meet people in that first 6 months, and they'd go I'd love to see you in 10 years. You're not.
I remember we were on our second date, all over each other in the Hamptons.
Yeah.
And we met this lady at the bar. Her name was Joan. We will find her one day.
She was awesome. I liked her.
And she's like, exactly. Well, let's see you 10 years from now. We wanted to find her at the 10-year mark because we were super
Joan,
into each other.
We're looking for you.
You're out there, Joan.
And we were just together this weekend. We went out dancing, having a great time.
Great time.
And again, all over each other.
All over each other.
As if it was when we first met over the first 6 months.
I hope we're like that when we're 80,
we
90.
will. There's no hope.
Yeah.
It's going to happen.
We will.
We've already written it in stone.
It is written in stone.
Right?
Yeah.
Manifestation, visualization, that's what we do.
That's what we do.
That's what we do.
That's our thing.
That's our thing.
Yeah.
And so people tell me, what were your secrets? What did you do? And it's kind of funny because after the 6 month mark, when we started to experience some miscommunications.
When you moved to New York?
When I moved to New York.
Okay.
and we were in very close proximity on a daily basis, we started to knock heads a little, get in a few arguments.
Right out of the gate.
And I'm like, okay,
I remember. One of my flaws is I remember all of our arguments.
And one of my, what would you say? Not flaws. One of my, what would you call it?
Superpowers
is that I forget all of our arguments.
That's better your way.
And so I remember coming to you and saying, look, you came from a failed marriage. I came from a failed marriage. You grew up in a broken home. I grew up in a broken home. You had a lot of trauma as a kid. I had a lot of trauma as a kid. We don't really know how to do this right. We don't know what we don't know. Mm-hmm. So I came to you with the proposal of hiring a relationship coach.
It's we didn't, the relationship coach.
Well, how did you react in the beginning?
Probably negatively. I didn't feel like we needed it, I guess. Yeah.
Your exact words?
I don't remember.
Because I do remember that.
I don't remember.
Do you have to be such an overachiever? Yeah. There's no problems yet. Why are we trying to have a coach and there are no problems?
You are an overachiever.
I am an overachiever.
In every which way.
And I'm proud of that.
Yeah.
And I said to you,
wait? One of my expressions, why get an A+ when an A is good enough?
Yeah. And I say, why not get an A+ if you can? Right?
Yeah.
And so I said to you, listen, let's have this person in place, because the day is going to come where we are going to bump heads really hard. Let's figure out how to communicate properly. Let's learn the tools and techniques that neither of us were taught it. Not to mention we weren't taught it, but we didn't have role models.
Yeah.
To role model that type of behavior.
And for context, this was way before we did our journey of healing and spirituality.
Yes.
Way before.
Yeah. This was like you and I were on a conscious level, probably at the bottom.
Yeah.
Very unconscious.
Well, I knew that when we first met, that we started talking about the importance of personal development.
Yeah.
And we were at like the top of the first inning of our journey of personal development, but you were really into it, and I was really into it, and that's going to make us sustainable.
Well, I mean, what's fascinating about you is that when you were 18, you started a personal journey.
I did.
You started a course.
I did.
When
I did
I was
the forum, the landmark forum, is what they call it now.
And when I was 18, I had started Tony Robbins cassette tapes.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
So, yes, while we were new, we were both open, because on our own, we were like, no, we want an amazing life, and we know that we need to work on ourselves.
Big time.
And that was totally independent.
Sure.
But what's amazing is that when we found each other, we were able to continue the personal journey together, versus when we weren't together and we were in different relationships. It takes two to want to be on that journey. And I think that being together was the first time as a partnership we both were excited to do that together. And I think that made a big difference.
Yeah, I mean, to this day we go to these workshops or whatever, and we see one of the spouses and we never see the other one. It's just not sustainable if one person's like working on themselves and the other one is not.
Yes.
It's just
and one person is going up and up and up. The other person is staying here. They're staying completely unconscious of their actions, while the other one is evolving and evolving. It's not sustainable.
I don't think so.
Again, I tell people all the time, if we didn't do this journey together, it would have been completely unsustainable. Our relationship wouldn't have lasted. As much as we loved each other, as much as the fact that you are beyond my soulmate. I've been with you for many lives. I know it. We reminisce all the time.
Yeah.
Like when I first heard your voice, we met online. That's back in the day when Match.com used to be like super cool. I don't know what's cool now because we're not on any apps.
No idea.
Hey, you better not. So,
in one of your previous lives, you were a malevolent dictator.
It's probably, that's what they say. But back to what I was saying is that when I heard your voice for the first time on the phone, you were in New York and California, I was like, I got butterflies in my stomach instantly. I was like, oh my God, I've heard this voice before. And then later on through some different, hypnotherapy, past life regression stuff, like you and I had been together many times.
I think so too, yeah.
And
when we on our first date, when you arrived, pulled up your car at the valet at the hotel where I was staying to meet you for the first time.
Yeah.
Literally 5 minutes later, we were making out hard.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that doesn't happen.
Doesn't happen.
No.
No. I mean, it was like
a
a reunion,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Even though you and I are beyond soulmates, had we not done the hard work, we might not be together today. And so I tell people is love isn't going to be the only thing that keeps you and your relationship together. You need to work hard on your relationship, but most importantly, we need to work hard on ourselves.
Yeah.
Really work hard.
I mean, we have enough insight now that we know it's amazing we kept it together at the beginning. Because I approached a relationship from a suffering, massively traumatized individual, and I know that you did as well. And then we meet.
You were a little bit more traumatized than me because you're 11 years older, so it's like by nature you're going to be more
I've
traumatized.
had more years.
You've had more years of life, which equals more years of trauma.
Well, I like that we have the debate who had the more jacked up childhood.
Yeah.
And I think I probably won.
Oh, you won for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
And yours is not a pretty picture.
No, but you know.
Yeah.
We can get into those details later. But the point is that, I mean, it was a great thing that we hired the relationship coach because he was almost like training wheels, right? So he helped us keep it together. He helped us communicate. He helped us really like calm situations. I mean, I remember on our honeymoon, we were on the phone with him.
Jeff.
Yes.
Jeff.
In the airport, on the floor, before we even left New York. Then we arrive at our honeymoon, and we're on the phone with this guy again. So the honeymoon...
We had the worst beginning to our
We had the worst
marriage.
beginning,
Yeah.
but the ending was the best.
Yeah. But day 3, we pulled it
Day
together.
3, we pulled it together.
Yeah. No, I really have to commend you. I mean, it was such an unconventional idea to get a relationship coach that we didn't necessarily need, who was on speed dial.
Yeah.
To this day, we never met him face to face.
Yeah.
But the deal was that if we need him, that he would make himself available within a couple of hours, if possible. And he always was. And we were on the phone with him many times. That's like really, really clever. Very clever.
Yeah.
You know, relationship coach on demand. And we would have a really bad argument, and you would say, I think we should call Jeff. And I'd be like, oh yeah, we definitely should call Jeff. We got to get Jeff on the phone. And we would get him on the phone, and he would talk us off the ledge. Our skills now, I mean, we don't necessarily need a Jeff, but he was super, super helpful. Jeff, if you're out there, love you, brother. Thank you so much. You helped our marriage tremendously.
Yeah, and then, you know, so some of the things in those arguments, I'd be like, Jeff, he's so freaking sensitive, you know, like...
Which I take as a compliment.
He used to take as a compliment. You don't anymore. We can talk about why. And then you would be like, Jeff, she gets angry. She goes from here to here, right? And so he would basically teach you how to cope with me and me to cope with you. We know that's not the right approach.
That's not the right approach, no.
But that was really like step 1 and level 1 until we found level 2, which was India.
To look within, yeah.
That was India.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget, you know, like we were on a Tony Robbins trip in Abu Dhabi, was it?
Started in Abu Dhabi and it ended in India, Varanasi, if I'm saying it correctly.
India. And we had sold our company already. We had sold our company. This was 2018, right? 2018, yeah. And we're in the taxi with a couple of friends, and we're supposed to go home. Like we've been out there for 3 weeks. And like we are all ready to go home. We had a little baby at the time. Adina was what, 1?
Aviva.
No, Adina. Yeah, but Adina was a baby. She was still maybe 10 months.
Oh, okay.
Super little. Aviva was what, 3?
But they were
something
with
like
us,
that.
no?
They were with us.
Yeah.
Yeah. We had a whole entourage, right?
Yeah.
Everybody was tired. Everybody wanted to go home. We're in the cab. A couple of our friends are there, and they're like, "Oh, we're going to be here for another 2 weeks." And I'm like, "Another 2 weeks? Are you crazy? What are you doing?" And so she started explaining to me what she was going to do, and I literally started crying.
Out of nowhere, no reason. And I'm like, what is going on here? And you felt very, very pulled to stay, to go to this program in Chennai, southern India.
Yeah.
For another,
it was
10 10 days,
12
2 weeks.
days.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I'm like, I'm out. I'll see you when we get home.
Yeah, you were like, get me out of here.
Yeah, I was
Get
ready
me
to
out
go
of
home.
here.
Yeah.
So you split.
Yeah,
Phew.
gone.
You went home.
Home.
I changed everything and stayed. And out of 12 days, I cried hysterically every single day. But the thing that was most incredible to me is that on day one, when they started talking about the principles of looking within and not blaming others, and if you're angry and if you're enraged and if you're annoyed or you're frustrated, it's all you, it's not the other person. I just remember crying like a baby going, oh my God. I used to say words like, I'm not a victim, but I was 100% a victim. I'd be angry with you and I would blame you for my anger.
I know.
You would be overly sensitive and you would blame me for your sensitivities.
I apologize for being hyper-reactionary to you.
Exactly. What you used to say. And I'd be like, And so it was like the biggest aha moments of my life. And I'm still to this day, I'm just so appreciative of that experience. And I remember when I was in India, you kept calling me like acting weird. Like you felt me shifting and you were like calling Kumarji and you were like, what's going on there? What's going on there? I mean, we were doing some deep breath work, some deep meditations, and some deep trauma clearing.
Yeah.
You remember that?
I had the weirdest dreams. Like, I remember it's like bizarre dreams, and which makes sense now because we're very, very connected. You and I.
Connected.
Yeah.
So connected.
Yeah.
So I'm like healing. You're feeling my healing. Like we are like, we're one pretty much. And I remember talking to Kumarji, and I remember saying, David really needs to come here. Like, he's an amazing person. He's got a beautiful heart. He is by far the most amazing man I've ever met. He is my soulmate. We've been with each other in many lives, but he's got a lot of junk, just as much more
got a lot of
than
junk in
I
my
do.
trunk.
Yeah, it's like, he needs to work on himself as well. I can't teach him this stuff. And then he's like, listen, you shouldn't teach him this stuff. You go home and just be your new self, your upgraded self, your more aware and conscious self, and he will feel it and he will ask you if he can come here. And I was like, really? Is that how this works? He goes, trust me. He goes, one or two things happen. Either that happens or you'll go home and you guys will break up.
Did he say that?
He said that. And I'm like, I don't want to break up with him. He's like, from everything that you're telling me about him, trust me, he's going to want to be here.
You never told me that.
He goes, but he's seen people that the other person does not want to evolve, and their relationships end up splitting up.
Which might be a good thing also for them on their own journey.
Sometimes that needs to happen until they can evolve their souls and maybe find the true match that's willing to vibrate at the same frequency, right? Yeah. And so I was like, okay, but I was high on life. I was feeling good. I mean, we would do past life, trauma breath work, releases. We did in your mother's womb, from the childhood. We did, I never meditated so much in my life in like a 12-day period. Like I came back feeling light as a feather.
We weren't meditators, period.
No, we never meditated prior to this. Never. I didn't even know what that was. You were 41 and you had a heart attack.
Yes.
I was, 38 with chest pains, right? Like not knowing how to deal with stress, not knowing how to deal with anxiety. I mean, it was just when you don't know how to deal with these things, it impacts your body significantly.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
So what was it like when I came home?
So you came home, and I definitely noticed a shift. Something had shifted in you, and I didn't know what it was. It was, you leveled something in a positive way. You shifted, and I just kind of lied in wait to see, waiting for you to regress back to who you were before. And the days.
Thanks for having faith.
Well, it's just natural, A lot of people go to these things or whatever, and they come back and they're high in life, and they come back and it's temporary. And the days and weeks went by and nothing. You didn't regress. Yeah. And after literally about a month, I said to you, maybe this is something that I should look into, and you just started crying like crazy,
I was like waiting for that day.
You were just waiting, and then I went, and they did it in levels back in the day. This is, by the way, the program is called Ekam, EKAM.
O&O Academy.
It's gone by several names.
Okay.
O&O Academy, Oneness, or Ekam.
Yeah.
And it's genius what they do there. And so I went and I did levels 1 and 2 back to back.
Yeah.
21 days.
We did 2 together.
Oh, you joined me for 2.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, so I did, and I did them back to back, and literally 19 out of the 21 days, I was bawling, crying, puddle of tears, screaming.
You remember you like popped a blood vessel in your eye from crying so much?
This is not a cheap program. It's very expensive, and I thought this is my moment to really just dig in, lean into all my crap, all my traumas, reveal the conditioning. I found a Spotify playlist of sad songs, so during breaks, I just went as dark as I could.
Yeah.
Here's a question for you. Who's writing your story, you or some random dude on the internet? If you're sick of Google, gossip blogs, or that one angry ex controlling how the world sees you, it's time to do something about it. Erase.com helps you take back your narrative by removing harmful content, outdated info, and straight-up lies from search engines. Your past shouldn't be a permanent headline. Erase.com gives you the reset button that the internet forgot to include. So don't let the web define you. Go to erase.com, use code ERASED for 10% off, and start owning your story today. Links in the description. Click it. Your future self will thank you. And I have about 20 to 25 different traumatic events in my childhood.
Yeah.
Some serious hardcore stuff. And at the end of the second level, I went through a mental checklist of each one of them, and I dwelled on them. Am I okay with each of these things? Am I truly okay? Is there an emotional connection, a negative emotional connection with any of these things any longer? And they were gone. Yeah. I mean, it's not that I forgot them, but it didn't have the emotional charge that it used to.
Well, it's a clearing. You're doing we save this trauma in our cells. And when you do these meditations and the processes and the breath work, you're healing the trauma in your cells.
Yeah, it's just.
Would you like to share any of these childhood incidents that you went through? Like maybe share some.
Well, the bullet points are poverty, physical abuse, verbal abuse, suicidal behaviors in my household. Not
from
me.
Your parent, your mom,
terminal illness.
Your dad. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just really, really messed up. Not good. And it wasn't a house full of love. I mean, a lot of people grow up with don't have a lot, but they have love in their homes. My home was very nutty and dysfunctional. So a lot of fear. I lived in a lot of fear.
And we know what happens when you're in the state of fear.
Can you imagine all the time? From the moment I woke up to the moment I went to bed at night, I had fear throughout my entire day. I also, to complicate matters, I couldn't see worth shit. I wear contact lenses, as you know, my vision is terrible. And my father, ironically, was an optometrist. And back in the day, they had this crazy idea that if you underprescribe a child, then their vision, the deterioration of their vision will level out, and they won't need, at some point it'll just stop deteriorating.
Yeah.
Worst idea ever. Disproven.
You can see anything.
I mean, not only did my vision get worse and worse and worse from the time I was 5 till 15, I finally got contact lenses. But I couldn't, every single year in school, first day of school, I couldn't even see the chalkboard. I literally couldn't see the board. So I had to have this super awkward conversation. I'm David Centner. Could you sit me really close to the, can you imagine?
No.
Every
You're
class.
the cutest little boy.
Well, we can disagree on that.
Adorable.
Yeah, thank you. I love you too.
I would have fallen in love with you if I was a little girl in your class. I'd be like, oh, hi, David.
You're the best.
With your little bow ties. Too cute.
So it was pretty.
Maybe Alex, we can put some pictures up of his how cute he was when he was little.
In a leisure suit. I had plenty of those. I wore hand-me-down clothes. It was like not good. So I had a lot to work on, and
yeah, I remember you sharing a story with me once where your mom took your head and your sister's head and bashed them together, and I was just like, oh my God, that's definitely trauma. That's trauma.
Yeah.
Like, I could feel the pain in your soul just describing that. I mean, no parent should do that.
It's not okay.
No, your parents are there to protect you and keep you safe.
You don't take your kids' heads and grab them by the hair and smash them. That happened on more than one occasion, actually.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Insane. Yeah. But I'm resolved on it now. I have a tremendous amount of compassion for my parents, because their childhoods were super messed up as well. And who knows how many generations this goes back.
That's the other thing we learned, is that from the day we're born, we carry trauma that goes back from past lives, and generational trauma literally gets passed down, from your great-great-grandma, all the way down the chain to your parents. So then you get that, and then we have the opportunity to break the cycle.
Yeah.
To break it.
Yeah, but
not pass it down to our kids.
Sure, I'd like to think so, that we're raising our kids with relatively little trauma. Yeah. The time will tell, but I'm pretty sure they got a good track record so far.
Yeah.
So the ironic backhanded benefit of this kind of upbringing is it put a fire in my belly. Yeah. Oh my God, did it put a fire in my belly to get out of the household and make money? Money was the answer.
Yeah.
Money. And so I started working at a very early age. I mean, if you count my newspaper route at 10 years old, which I took very, very seriously, to my first real job, which was at 12 years old as a dishwasher at International House of Pancakes, and 4 jobs simultaneously when I was 16 to,
Pizza Boy, Frankie's Pizza. Still alive and well.
70 years anniversary, Frankie's Pizza
and their
in Miami.
Good.
Really good.
So fluffy. Yeah. Anybody in Miami, go to Frankie's Pizza. You will love it.
Yeah, 92nd Avenue. So it put a fire in my belly, and I just started this relentless pursuit of making money. And hey, it worked out pretty good, but had a heart attack along the way, failed marriage. Well, but I did, I put my shoulder down and ran through walls, and I got what I wanted. But then we had a big exit, and then I was like lost, like what? Yeah. I don't. What do I do now? I'm rudderless, and nothing. What's my passion going to be now? Yeah. I must sort this out.
Well, I remember the day like yesterday. Transaction closed, and you and I were so eager to log into our bank accounts and see the deposit.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Like, wow, we never imagined seeing numbers like we saw, but yet we both felt something missing.
A little emptiness.
It was an emptiness. Yeah. It was like because again, these are things you and I have in common. I did the same thing, pedal to the metal. I knew that the key was to be able to have the financial independence, right? And so I was a total bookworm when I started college. High school, didn't care about high school because I just didn't feel it was for me. But the second I stepped foot in college, straight A's.
Turned it on.
Scholarship to, University of Southern California, graduated magna cum laude, worked for, Arthur Andersen and then Deloitte and Touche, the top accounting firms. And I was like, I am determined to succeed at all costs. 29, the youngest CFO in California for a $1 billion real estate firm. And I'm like, this is the key to success. Work hard and make money. Yet, now what we know, that doesn't define success. Money will never make you happy. Mm-mm. Money will never heal your soul. Mm-mm. You can buy a Lamborghini, a Ferrari. It's fun for a minute, and then after that, it's like, huh. But when you work on your soul and you level up your soul, that's bliss. That's real happiness. And that's something money can't buy. But most importantly, it's attainable for everyone.
Mm-hmm. Amen.
Everyone.
Yeah. It's free.
It's free.
Yeah. So many resources out there for people to work on themselves.
So many.
And that's our passion.
3 resources. They don't need to go and join the program. There's online courses.
Right.
You know, there are so many things that people can do to level up their soul, to go within and to really work on themselves, right? We see it all the time. We see people in relationships and they come to us for advice and they're like, my husband is this, my husband is that, he does this, he does that, and he makes me so angry all the time. And I'm just sitting there like, you know, why don't you stop focusing on your husband and focus on yourself?
Remember that time where I was like really upset? You probably even know what I'm going to talk about.
Oh, which time? Tell me. Which time?
I was really mad at you.
Yeah.
About something. And then you just stopped and you said, "What's really going on?"
Yeah.
Remember that one?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We've had a few of those. But you've also done it to me.
Yeah.
You've done it to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, you've had times where I'm angry because, right, this doesn't mean it rids your anger. What it means is you become more aware, right? So I've had moments where I'm like losing my shit, and then you just hug me, squeeze me tight, and go, same thing.
Yeah.
What's really going on? Because it's never about the other person.
It's not. No. And we leak our energy, you know. Something over here could be really bothering me, and I'm going to take it out on you.
Yeah.
Everybody does that.
And you do it to the person you love the most.
Right?
You feel the safest to be able to let that shit out.
Yeah.
But you shouldn't really dump on your spouse.
And then your spouse like comes right back at you.
Just dumps right back at you.
Ratchets it up, and next thing you know, off to the races. And some relationships they get super nasty with each other, and they say really really hurtful things that it's hard to recover from.
Yeah.
You made that rule very early on in our relationship to never ever how would you say it? Call each other names.
Yeah. So what I said is, listen, we're going to be in heated moments, and we never want to jeopardize the integrity of our relationship. And when you fire off mean and nasty words, you can never take it back. You can say I'm sorry, but that person will feel it in their soul, and they will remember it to the day they die.
We've never done
that.
We've
never
Not
done that.
Once
you and I basically shook and hug on it that we would never do that to each other.
Yeah. And the other thing that we refined is never leave the room.
Yeah.
You know, because I was a door slammer. I'm out of here.
You were a runner?
Yeah, I'm a runner.
You were
you were
runner.
under the covers, you know?
Yeah. I was in the corner girl. Go in the corner and pout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm out.
And you're out.
And that's not
You're the getaway
constructive.
car.
I would rather stay in a room, mad as could be, you know, but we're together.
Yeah. I think that was your rule.
That was my rule.
That was your rule.
Yeah.
I had a rule, you had a rule.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yours was
do not leave.
Don't leave the room.
We must keep the connection. And we learned that from India. It's all you can be angry, but that connection still has to stay there.
Yeah, because every time you sever that connection, you create distance. And then you create further distance and further distance, further distance. And next thing you know, like, you're miles away and I'm miles away, and how do you get that back?
Yeah.
But if you never create that distance, yes, sometimes we need space. Like, we've had situations where, like, you know, we hug, we kiss, I love you. Okay, but, you know, I need a few minutes to go and meditate and breathe. And one of us might go sit outside and do a 15-minute meditation. But, like, we've already hugged before we left the room.
Yeah. Yeah, well, because we deeply love each other and don't want to ever jeopardize that, for sure.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, the fact that you and I are able to do this and never had it role modeled, I think is a real blessing. Because this stuff isn't, it's not intuitive, yet somehow you and I figured it out. And I feel like, you know, one of the things that could be a real benefit to anybody watching this show is, like, if somebody watching this show can listen and go, wait a minute, every single time I argue, I'm blaming my spouse, and just become aware of that, you are literally retraining your brain to stop being a victim and take ownership. And the more you do it, the arguments get less and less and less. You know, it's like in the beginning of our relationship, we argued all the time. Now, we hardly ever argue. And if we do argue, it's over in an hour? It says it's not stretched out for a couple days.
No, right.
And I think that's key.
Yeah.
It's key because you and I want to grow super old together. You and I, want to, be grandma, grandpa one day. We want to have a lot of grandkids, maybe great grandkids. We just want to we want to go the rest of our life with just love and peace.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
And the only way to create that, because it wasn't natural for us, is to be very intentional with it. Very intentional. And you and I visualize a lot, like, what do we want? What do we want our family to look like? What do we want, how do we want this relationship with our kids to look like? And we do a lot of things very intentional because we want to create that beautiful, peaceful, happy family.
Well, everything you do is intentional.
Yeah, it's true. But it's fun. It works, right?
It works. It does work.
It works.
Yeah.
I used to be annoyed by it back in the days, but now you see there's a method to my madness.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. Definitely. Yeah.
What are you thinking, David? You look like you're thinking.
Thinking about I don't know what to say.
Shall I continue then?
Yeah.
Because I always have a lot to say. And of course, this is my beautiful Monica here. Monica, you're so tall, you might want to scoot down and say hi to everybody.
Hello.
This is what we do.
This is my beautiful boss right here. And
Thank
this
you.
is my beautiful boss's husband over here.
That's right. She's my Monica. I have to share her sometimes.
I get 5% of you.
She does.
I don't mind sharing. You can do,
I know, but sometimes I'm like, that's my Monica.
I'm on your time, but I'm definitely labeled as Leila's Monica for sure with the community.
Yeah, she makes sure magic happens.
Well,
I don't know if you noticed this, but I
notice.
am not late to meetings anymore because of her. Did you notice? Like before, you used to always be like, "Where's Leila?"
Yeah, no, I see. That's
I'm not
definitely-
late
She
to
gives
meetings
me too
because of
much
her.
Yeah.
No, you have all the credit. Are you kidding me?
Sweet.
Before I hired her, I was losing my mind. I'm like, I cannot keep track of all these meetings. Like yesterday, boom, boom, boom. I had meetings all day long. I didn't miss one. I wasn't late to one because of her.
Let's talk about how self-sufficient I am.
Yes.
Oh my God, you are
Right.
very self-sufficient.
Like I don't
know how you do it.
I barely need anybody.
No offense to how handsome and smart you are,
Go on.
but let's talk about why you are so self-sufficient.
Why?
I have way more jobs than you.
Oh, I have a lot.
Way more.
I have a lot going on.
Oh, okay. You have a lot going on, but I have a super duper lot going
You do.
on.
It's true.
Okay.
You have a
so
lot. Yeah.
It's easier for you to manage, a meeting here and there. She's
A
managing.
meeting here and there.
She,
Oh, really? Is
You know what I'm
that
saying.
what my life looks like to you? Hanging out.
yes. Working out. I see your Instagram posts.
Well, makes sense. Because for somebody who's moving at light speed, everything else around them looks like it's crawling like a snail. So I'm your snail to your light speed, probably.
I wouldn't call you a snail. I would just say you have a lot more control over the amount of projects you take on. And I want to take on everything because I love it and I enjoy it. Maybe because I'm also 11 years younger. I mean, I'm not sure to brag that I'm just saying. You've been in the work life for 11 years longer than I have.
Yeah.
So you're kind of like, hey,
Yeah.
I don't want as much on my plate as yours.
That's true.
Which is fine.
That's how I feel.
I love it and enjoy it, and I know the things you're working on, you love and enjoy.
I do.
I know you love working on the farm
Mm-hmm. And my cafes.
so much, and your cafes, and we are working on the farm and the cafes together.
We are.
But and I love you love working on Erased, and you're having a lot of fun with it. And I really love the wellness center. I love my schools. I enjoy the farm and the ranch, and I think that because you and I have gone through this healing journey, at least for me, I want to share it with the world. And of course in 2020, I got the Lyme disease diagnosis. Do you remember?
I do. We were walking in the woods. We both got bit by
Ticks.
ticks.
In
Exactly the
2013.
same place.
2013.
Except your tick was a nasty, filthy tick.
My
and
tick was nasty.
Yeah, mine was clean. Or my immune system
Or your immune
was
system was
better
stronger, yeah.
and stronger
Yeah.
to not allow it to
It's possible.
take root.
It's possible.
Yeah.
And but 2020 was just that that moment where I felt like all the cards came crashing down. Because as you can remember, I couldn't keep my eyes open past 7.
Yeah, I know. You would go to sleep early
So
every
early.
single night, and it was really weird because I'd be up for hours and hours every single night,
Yeah.
alone.
Yeah, and I had massive brain fog.
Yeah,
I had memory loss.
yeah.
And I'm just like, oh my God.
It's
you
during
know,
COVID too, no less. It was
Yeah.
like- so we were isolated a lot in the first place.
Yeah, and it was like we had all this financial success, but without your health, what is money? Health is everything. And I was now losing my health. And we had a little baby at home at the time that needed me specifically, needed me to put her to sleep, but I couldn't even keep my eyes open enough to put her asleep. And so I feel like that was another opportunity for us to level up our relationship, because when one person's sick, and the other person is now having to, almost be like a caregiver at the same time, you traveled the world with me. You went to Spain, you went to Lyme, Mexico. You were there by my side while I was going through all these treatments, being super supportive, having to step into being, like mom and dad while I'm getting these treatments because the kids really needed you. I'd be in these treatments for 6 to 8 hours a day, right? And so, one, I want to thank you for that, for being a super awesome husband and being very patient and caring through that process. But I really feel like India helped us.
It wasn't hard.
It wasn't hard for you because you're just full of love, and and you had gone through this journey in India where you just were, your soul was complete, and you were not feeling a deficiency because you were just full of love.
Yeah.
So you were able to just
able to
jump
step up.
in
Yeah.
and go,
Step up.
okay, my wife needs us,
Yeah.
and I'm going to do whatever it takes.
Yeah.
And that was a tough time.
It was a bunch of years.
That was a tough time
Yeah.
because, it was 2020, 2021, traveling around the world, trying to figure this out. 2022, still trying to figure it all out, traveling within the U.S. I mean, it's just a lot of time. And then building a school at the same time, which required a lot of work, especially on my shoulders. It required a lot of effort.
Well, because it was in a state of chaos as
Yeah,
well because
yeah.
of COVID and all the, you could watch the erased episode about Leila's experience
Yeah.
being canceled and how we lost all our teachers and most of the families, and
Yeah.
you had to go on a tour of just to recruit
Yeah.
teachers and
Yeah.
families and while you're not feeling well.
Nonstop podcasts. Like I had to nobody really knew what I was going through except you and our
Yeah.
family and a few of the leaders at school, because I would literally be in school with IVs connected to my arms. I was doing all these IV treatments at school during meetings. And if anybody's ever opened the school, it's harder than a regular startup. The requirements on you, it's just extremely taxing, and then of course going through the big scandal of not wanting teachers to get the COVID shot. It added a lot of stress, and when you're trying to heal, that's the last thing you need is stress on your body.
We've been through a lot,
We've been through a lot.
I mean, a lot of people look at us and are impressed by where we are at this moment.
Yeah,
But it took a lot along the way, these
Took a
past
lot.
14 years of
a lot.
highs and lows and hard work and
Yeah.
keeping us tight and together and aligned, and
Yeah.
you helping me and me helping you, and
Oh, yeah.
it's been
Yeah.
pretty crazy journey. And you
Yeah.
know what? But I also feel by the same token, we're only just beginning,
Yeah.
right?
I agree.
feel freaking energized.
Well, you're the best you've ever looked.
Thank you. I mean, physically, but in every way.
Outside and inside,
Yeah.
right? Like your mind is stronger than ever.
Yeah.
You could
I feel
handle so
smarter.
much more.
I feel, and I use this metaphor that all the work that we did was sort of like we're ships going through the ocean with a bunch of barnacles on the bottom, and all this healing that we've done and liberation, spiritual liberation, just releases those barnacles, and now the ship can go easier, faster. I literally feel like a smarter human being.
That's right. And you know what? Krishna Ji used to say that to us in 2018, 7 years ago, that when your mind is calmer, when you are at peace, you can go faster and smoother. And in the beginning, you and I did not understand that. We're like, what is this guy talking about, right?
Yeah.
Until we started having moments of feeling, oh my God, like I just got so much done today and it felt like nothing.
Yeah. I feel now, like most of the time, my brain is in a peaceful state, whereas before my brain was like way more chaotic most of the time.
Well, shameless plug.
What?
To Centner Wellness.
Tell me all about it.
You do enjoy our Theta machine at
The
Centner
Theta
Wellness,
Chamber, one of my favorites.
which drops you into Theta.
Yeah, it's this coffin-like contraption that you get in.
Yes.
Connect music to your some
to
special
sounds,
music,
to your
and
ears,
electrodes,
to
stuff,
your eyes.
darkness, light show. Close the lid,
Yes.
and it starts spinning
Slowly,
around.
and you don't feel
even
it.
know you don't even know you're spinning.
Yes. So
You cannot help but drop in.
So you are an amazing client of Centner Wellness, and that does help drop you in more. And of course,
Absolutely.
of course
Love
the,
that place.
Of course, the Amortal Chamber.
Love that.
You know,
I love all the toys.
The fancy looking spaceship
Yeah.
that's like a red light bed
Yeah.
with a beautiful meditation. And also one little funny thing, another shameless plug for Centner Wellness, but it was funny. I was on a call with our marketing team. And we're going through ads of like, level up your body. And it was a picture of a 60-year-old. And it was like, biohack yourself to look like this. And I'm like, I'm looking at the team on Zoom and I'm like, have you guys seen my husband? Like, really? Are you going to put the stock photo of this random guy who looks 70? Like, no. Like, let's put my husband. So we did that awesome photo shoot of you, which I think Alex.
And my age.
Yes, you're turning 60.
Next February.
That's a real biohacker. And I'm like, so marketing team, get rid of those stock photos. My husband is the new male face of a true biohacker.
Longevity.
Well, but longevity, but like same thing, right?
Yeah.
And then what did we do last week, which is we're super excited about? We harvested your stem cells
Got some
from your own body,
fat
adipose.
cells out of our butts.
Uh-huh.
Right? You can spin it down into stem cells.
That's right. That's right. They're going to harvest them, cultivate them, and then we're going to
have a lifetime supply of stem cells
we're
that we're going to do how
your
often?
Own stem cells.
Every month.
Once
we're
a
gonna
month
do
for the rest of our lives.
IVs of our stem cells. So excited.
So in like a year from now, I want you to look at us and tell us if you think we look younger. You can put it in your head. You can put it in your face. You can put it in an IV bag. Our own stem
Nasal
cells,
spray.
not someone else's.
That's right.
And then I got a new machine.
What?
Again, another shameless plug. The ExoMind, which I cannot
ExoMind?
Yes.
What is
it? It's all about the brain. It's like TMS on steroids. So TMS, you have to do it for like 30 days straight. ExoMind, which helps reverse addictions. It helps just make you smarter. It helps with all of these things. All you need is 6 treatments. So as soon as we're trained on it next week, I cannot wait to get you in it, because even though you're super smart now, your brain's going to be even smarter.
I can't even imagine.
Me either. Yeah. Just don't outsmart me. So if you do 6, I'll do 8.
I don't think that's possible.
Well, you are pretty smart.
I'm pretty smart.
And handsome. I can give you a little kiss.
Okay.
It's been a while. So anyways, back to the journey. I feel like all of these things that have been thrown at us in life, you mentioned like at that time it was your turn to help me, because the first 5 years, I was the one to jump in to help you. I helped you clean up the company we sold 7 days a week.
Appreciate
I was in
it.
that.
Thank
you
you.
had some other personal things going on. I helped jump in. So that's part of life, When one person's down, the other person is up to help pull the other person up. And that's just the way life is.
That's how it's going to be.
That's how it's going to be.
Yeah.
When my brother passed away, it was a super traumatic time for me, and you were there for me. You were helping me, consoling me.
I think the best thing, I plan on living a super long time, as you know.
Yes.
And like half jokingly,
Yeah.
450.
Okay, yeah, but that's
And
not gonna happen. So
if Centner Wellness,
that's gonna happen for me.
if it will.
I don't want to live that
I
old.
want you to.
I do not want to
Please,
look like
try.
I don't want to look like Christine Froome.
You have to have stretch goals.
Listen. Okay, so I'm anti-Botox and fillers. I use the plasma to inject in my face, and now stem cells are coming. I will be injecting that into my face. I don't know if that's going to last me till 450 because
Something new will come along.
I don't want to be like, no, I don't want to do that.
No, we're going to look the same.
How?
We will.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
If you can figure it out, then maybe.
Anyway.
Right now, I'm thinking 125. That's like where I'm at right now.
Start with that.
Fine.
So anyway, if we're going to live a super long time, what is our role in life for each other? And I think that our for me, my role in life is to just hold space for others, just to be fully present with them as they go through whatever it is in their journey in life. That's what my mission in life is for other people.
Well, first of all, you're amazing at it.
I think. I mean, everybody can be.
And our 10-year-old acknowledges that all the time, and Oliver, your son, acknowledges that all the time. We'll be joking in the family setting, and they're both. That's the one thing that their eyes light up when they say, like, you listen to everything, and you stop and you're present. And it's something that, like, I need to work a little bit harder on because I get so distracted with all the things that I have going on.
I'm 11 years ahead of you also. So,
yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 11 years younger.
Yeah.
But the point is, is that you hold space very well for people. I see you do it with your friends. I think it's just a beautiful thing. I love that about you. You hold space for me.
Yeah.
I mean, and I love that our kids, they recognize that.
That's more important than money. It's more important than things. Is to be present to another human being is like it's just the biggest gift that you can give somebody.
Yesterday there was a lot going on, and I was like running around, and somebody was talking to me, and I was like, and then all of a sudden I went, wait a minute, I am not being present to this person. So I stopped. I put down my phone. I said, okay, I'm sorry. Can you repeat what you were just saying? I was not present. I was not even here in the room. My mind was completely somewhere else. But I think about you, like, you inspire me to be more of that. It's not as easy for me as it is for you. You do it really well.
It wasn't always that way, though, to be honest.
I know, trust me.
Yeah.
I know that, too.
Yeah.
You definitely weren't that way
I think
when we first met.
moral of the story is we inspire each other and we make each other better in every which way. Yeah. And so that's why I love our journey together. And even if you don't look exactly the way that you look today when you're 125 or 450, I know that I'm in this for the long haul.
Aww.
It doesn't. I'm in love with your soul.
Listen, if I have to change your diapers, I'll do it. I will do it.
I know you.
I will do it because I love you.
You wipe me good.
I'll wipe you so good. Because you're my baby.
I know. Thank you, honey.
I'm your baby.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.